Good morning. It is Thursday, December 18, 2014. UPBOptionMillionaires.com. Stock futures are continuing to build on their gains from yesterday. Look at this massive reversal here. Eerily reminiscent of the move we had off the lows back in October and even in August, although less muted to the degree of the initial recovery. Look at this spike. Yesterday was the biggest day up for the market since October of 2013. And we've seen throughout the markets move up to record highs. Each of the pullbacks has resulted in a V-type bottom. And you can see even back at the start of the year, and then we had the tech wreck of 2014. Each of the pullbacks has ultimately resulted in this V-bottom that sends stocks up to new record highs. So we'll see if this is what's happening here. We're just putting in a lower high. The odds are that we are in the process of making a new all-time record high. Obviously, back in October, the same thing was happening. We were pulling back. Nobody thought we'd hit new record high stock price by the end of the year. And just a couple days ago, I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought at some point in 2015 we would, but that's what happens. Federal Reserve do not fight the Fed. I mean, that reigns true. Pretty much, I think, three of the last meetings, we've seen stocks rally out of the gate after the Federal Reserve comes out. Pretty much maintains, they changed their wording from considerable time on interest rates to patient. Same difference. The point is, they're just going to sit back and wait, and it's going to be a long time before interest rates actually start to rise. You can see the move up we had yesterday, and I was talking about this in the blog post I did at Option Millionaires. You can see even all week, heading into today's session, the market S&P 500 futures could not get above this level. Each time it tried to get above that level, it came all the way back down. We hit our lows there on Tuesday, and then yesterday we closed right just about at that level. Overnight, while we were all sleeping, the stock futures ripped up through that level, put in a nice bull flag, another bull flag that seems to be just stair-stepping its way up to new record high stock prices, possibly by the end of the year. It's pretty amazing. If you look from a seasonal perspective, stocks do really well at the end of a year. GDX is up significantly. Look, it's up 8.6%. That includes yesterday's gain. It is about 2.5 hours before the market's going to open. Anything's possible. Putin was talking a little bit ago, trying to maintain. Let's just pull up crude oil futures, which are higher this morning, almost up at yesterday's high. You can see I put in almost a double top. There's crude oil futures pulling back. This is a nice cup and a handle. We'll see if we continue up back over the $60 level. It's funny how everybody gets so negative, and you can see the move. It's been a really significant move, volatile action. That everybody gets so negative on something, and then it does the exact opposite of what everyone thinks is going to happen. And so we can see crude oil continue to make its way up, back up at the 61 level it was at last week. Let's pull into some individual names. We had names working. Apple worked great to the downside. I brought this up a week and a half ago. And you can see now we're up against this trend line here. If we can get back above that, yeah, it sets itself up. And I love Apple from a long-term perspective, but those puts worked out perfectly over the last 5 trading sessions. You can see could not get it back above this line, but now yesterday's action and then today's early morning action puts it up at about almost 4% higher over the last 2 trading sessions. Whole Foods is sitting right at long-term resistance. It briefly broke over it the other day. I was talking about it. I believe it was Monday. Analyst upgraded to start the session, and then it pulled back, and then a buyout rumor came out. We've seen this buyout rumor from Publix before. But if you look, pull back at a 10-year chart on Whole Foods, and to me this looks like it's setting up for a wonderful head and shoulders topping pattern. We have a left shoulder, a head, right shoulder. So this might play out for a little bit longer, but I think ultimately it's going to come back down to at least this neckline here at about 37.50. And then if it breaks that, we could be looking at prices down into the 20s. But of course, there'll be buyout rumors and analyst upgrades along the way. I was talking about big lots back at the start of the year when it was at 26 bucks. Same thing, analysts were downgrading the stock here, and up here they're upgrading the stock. You can see what happened after that. And I was calling for this pullback, and indeed it happened. Big lots, like everything else, though, is bouncing here today. Home Depot, same thing. I was calling for a pullback. We got the pullback, although it doesn't look like much on a monthly scale. If you pull up the last couple trading sessions heading into yesterday, we pulled back from all-time record highs. A nice $4 move to the downside has since bounced. $100 puts at 80 and $1.13 worked out very nicely. Also with 3M pulling back, although bouncing yesterday, back over the 161 level. Same thing from the 162.50 level. Does not look like much, but in the whole scheme of this massive move up, when you get almost a $7 move to the downside with the Dow Jones Industrial Average component. It looks nice. Caterpillar's bouncing back over the $92 level. Went all the way to 88. I was talking about this when it broke under 100, or was right at 100, that it was going to head down to 95. Support that broke. I think it's going to be in the low 80s. Heading into 2015, let's look at Twitter. Twitter, this is one of my favorite stocks here going forward, but you can see it's been beaten down. Analysts came out, I believe, downgraded it recently. A $10 cut from $55 to $45. I think it's going to make a move back over this trend line here. When it does, heading into 2015, this is going to be one of the stocks to watch, along with Facebook, which I think is going to make a move up. You can see it's been consolidating for quite a while since the summer. It's had some really nice moves when we had the earnings decline back down into the mid-70s. It's been kind of trying to recover. Let me get that out of here. Ever since. Holding support here at 72.50, so even if it comes down to this level, as long as it holds, I think it's good to go for a long-term chart here. Obviously, it hasn't been trading 5 years, but you can see that the move up, good digestion here of the record high levels, and I think ultimately it's going to make its way up into triple digits. Google up significantly yesterday, continuing on that move. And you can see support here. About 509 briefly broke through it this week. This could be the bottom here for Google. We'll see. I think this is another stock that heading into 2015 is going to be one to own, as this stock has massive rallies in the past that really just go on forever without nary a pullback. And I think we're at that juncture there. We're pretty oversold, and we're at support just over the $500 level. So Google, look at that one. And we have oil, which is trying to get us way back up to support. If it does, I think it's going to be consolidating for the next 6 to 9 months in this channel, just like it was for the last 5 years in this channel, from the $29 range to the $45 range. I think the new channel here, the new normal, is right in this range here. But we have to get back up to it first. XLE had one of its biggest rallies in quite a long time. You can see it's continuing. It's up a total of 6% almost since yesterday's open, and the $80 level is key here. I think it'll at least come up and give it a kiss, and then we'll see a continuation to the downside for energy. A couple more stocks. FedEx was upgraded. I talked about 172.50 level as being the part error is 172.60. They had earnings report yesterday, was down as much as 6%. Broke through the 172.60 level, upgraded today, and I think it's going to get back over this level and head up to new record high prices. This is a great pullback trade. We got our move, better than expected move, and now it's heading in the opposite direction. Same with Netflix. We had our move as well. We broke down. I thought this move under 330 level was going to last longer than it did, but of course we had an analyst upgrade yesterday. And then we had Janet Yellen, the Federal Reserve, come out and maintain the low interest rate policy for the foreseeable future, which is giving momentum stocks a lift. Once we broke below this 330 level on Netflix, I thought we were going to head under $300, and you see, I was right for a little bit, and wrong yesterday, as we have this big spike up. Continuing today, look at that, over to 341 level. I know JB was in some calls yesterday on the upgrade, so a lot of people are going to make some money there on the call side. Nice to see up almost 8% from yesterday's open. All right, UPB, I'll see you in the chat room, doing a couple more videos today. We have gold and silver rallying. USO, oil is up. The VIX is getting clobbered. Look at the VXX today. Between today and yesterday, down almost 15%, back under the $30 level. Hit almost 35 just a day and a half ago. All right, I'll see you in the chat room. Everyone have a great trading session. It is the Santa Claus rally. It is here. And we'll see if stocks hold their gains today. We could be looking at new all-time record highs by the end of the year. Pretty wild. Goodbye.